Having fun on the dev server is probably the most ironic thing you can do as a creator. Although, the dev server is now over and the update will probably be here next week sometime. Been having too much fun on the crocodile, so let's instead switch over to something with a little more dakka. Of course, I could be talking about my G'day Mate decal, which you can get in the link in the description. But ultimately, today's video will probably be about the A1M, one of the attacker versions of the Skyraider. Obviously, the Skyraider is an incredibly cool aircraft, and apparently there is one of these later models, or the last production variant, in the game files. But, you know, for a Battle Pass vehicle, this thing has all the dakka you could possibly need, and today we're just going to take a casual look at its infamous toilet bomb. So, you know, that's going to be a fun thing to take a look at today, so enjoy! Of course, the flight model of this particular aircraft is basically a Skyraider. It's imported from probably the other models that Gaijin had lying around, which I don't have a problem with. It's got extremely strong brakes, the same set of air brakes as well. So, you know, you've got plenty of things, as well as arrestor gear, because it is a naval attacker aircraft. And, yeah, it is, in essence, probably the best looking Skyraider out there at the moment. And it even has this thing called a toilet bomb, which old mate over here is just taking a look at now. It's like Struth. Now, I don't have the exact historical loadout for this machine. It's probably like a bunch of bombs and I think it's a wing center pylon fuel tank with 572 written on the side. Anyway, what we do know is the damaged toilet was going to be thrown overboard, and one of the plane captains rescued it and told the ordnance crew to make a rack for it, and tail fins were installed and a nose was also put on the thing. And while the checkers maintained a position to block the view from the air boss and the captain, basically, just as it was taxiing forward, as it was being shot off, you get the message from the bridge, what the hell was that on 572's right wing? Of course, this all comes courtesy of Clint Johnson, who was a captain, one of two Skyraiders that actually credited with shooting down a MiG-17 on June 20th, 1965. Anyway, he talks about being in Vietnam on a special, you know, Vietnam cruise, as they all tend to do. And these guys wanted to commemorate a special bomb that was carried to North Vietnamese in commemoration of the 6 millionth pound of ordnance dropped. And this bomb was unique because of the type, and in fact it was the infamous toilet we see here, mounted to this particular aircraft. Now, the mission unique to this particular aircraft, the airframe was also named Paper Tiger 2, just for the flight. So, you know, there's also some interesting dialects in history. And apparently it was followed by another aircraft which had one of the only remaining World War II wing-mounted movie cameras from the fleet. And apparently they filmed the event, so there is footage out there somewhere. But coming back to War Thunder, this thing kind of explodes when you press the spacebar button. I don't know whether that's a bug at the moment, or that they are aware of this particular thing, but I certainly hope it's fixed. Anyway, it was entertaining playing with a toilet bomb that it basically explodes your wing. If you use anything, including the different range sets, this one is now set to 2 seconds delay. Instead of a salt fuse, still had the same effect. It should have just gone off, but, you know, flown off. I had a couple of launches where it actually did manage to drop off the wing correctly and fly down. It's incredibly diverse, but then again, dev service things are subject to change, aren't they? And what I find fascinating about this machine is it just goes off at the wrong places. That was with a 2-second delay, so by the time I pressed it, the ordnance didn't actually leave the pylon at all, so again, a bit buggy there. But I couldn't help myself but fire the guns on the way down. Here we are again, where this time I'm going to try in a dive. We have a salt fuse back on again. There is a Chinese CN Tor M1 right there. We're going to see if we can drop a bomb on him. No. Again, didn't drop off the pylon. Okay. We seem to be bugged here. Nevertheless, let's just have a bunch of fun. Now, unfortunately, they don't have a skin for 572, the actual aircraft that did actually drop the bomb. They do have another one of the sister aircraft, which has the Intrepid sort of insignia on the side, so it is relevant, I suppose. So, for a Battle Pass vehicle, this will probably be one that is really accessible for most. I will be looking forward to playing with this machine once I get my hands on it later down the line. And yes, there were flares. This thing comes equipped with 60 flares for a machine that really probably shouldn't have flares. I'm not entirely sure. Were the flares effective? I don't think the Radial would have put out that much heat, considering how big the engine is on the front of this thing. And considering this is just another Skyraider flight model, it's perfectly okay. It is a Skyraider in essence, so, you know, it fits the whole aesthetic of this whole entire patch, which is, I'm basically rushed and I'm not finished. Anyhow. With that aside, the aircraft is fantastic, and I can't wait to pick this one up and have a bunch of fun. It does everything you want it to do, and it explodes right on cue when you want it to as well. But it's a joy to play, and it's also incredibly fun to dogfight other fighters with this machine. So I expect that there will be a lot of people using this to get aces and etc. With what a lot of rounds it can carry. It's amazing fun that this aircraft exists, and apparently there is another version in the game files, the last production model of the Skyraider, the A1J I think it is. Anyhow, that's just a quick look at this particular machine. Hope you enjoyed this little random video. I didn't have a plan for this one, so it's a bit unscripted. But, I'll, you know, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And keep an eye out for the War Thunder sales coming up soon. Get 3% off everything in War Thunder with my link in the description down below. So, thank you very much.